another great day here for God has given us. Reflecting back, I guess, particularly maybe on Saturday, our scrimmage, I'd have to say the offense dominated. They had 6 touchdowns. I think we had 2 out of 3 field goals. The only field goal we missed was actually a 51-yarder into the wind, so had a pretty good day. I'm going to start on the defensive side of the ball, the 1 or 2 guys that stood out, even though they didn't play quite as I expected them to do. Greg Story did really well. He had, we call them 6 factors or production plays, where he had some penetration on some plays, some hurries, some tackles for loss, and so on and so forth. He definitely stood out as far as in the scrimmage from a defensive perspective. Corbin Jackson was probably another guy that probably stood out from the defensive side and made some good production plays on that side. As far as offensively, 2 or 3 guys probably stood out. Kentori Matthews there had 2 touchdown runs, had a long one about 65 yards. Stubbs caught 2 touchdown passes. As far as that go, Mosley had a touchdown pass. Gandy Golden had a touchdown pass. So we had some good production. Calvert had a very good day there throwing the football, and so it was a very productive day from an offensive perspective. Again, defensively, they were a little bit simplified as far as what they did as far as their defensive scheme. So there's going to be some adjustments to be made here in our next scrimmage or 2, where there'll be a little bit more full gamut of what they would do defensively. So I'm not concerned. Again, sometimes you're going to have some ups and downs when you're going against each other. Sometimes the defense has a great day. Sometimes the offense has a great day. But I like the effort we had. I like the things that were going on from that perspective. I would say an offensive lineman that probably stood out, I guess say 2 guys there particularly. A guy by the name of Tom Sargent. He's definitely going to be in the mix. Played really well there at the center position. Julio Lozano was another guy on the offensive side of the ball, offensive line-wise, did a great job. And so I think we got a long way to go, but I saw some things that were pleasing, particularly from the offensive side of the ball, to come out and be pretty effective as far as moving the football on a consistent basis.
Where'd you have Lozano at?
Lozano's a left tackle. He's our left tackle.
And then I guess Ernst Anderson, do you have an update on him?
Ernst Anderson had a little bit of a setback. He came out and tried to do a few practices, but kind of had something there to hold him back. So he has not been practicing here the last 4 or 5 days. Hopefully we get another evaluation. He can get back out here hopefully within a week to 2 weeks. Nothing really that hopefully shouldn't prevent him from being able to go in the season. But we did have a temporary setback with him, so he has not been practicing.
You heard a lot about Kentori Matthews. What's his story? How'd you guys find him?
Kentori Matthews, once we got the FBS announcement, told all of our coaches to look at every JC in the country and started looking at every guy out there that's available. That's basically kind of how we went about doing things, and called coaches, called people, and he kind of came and stood out. A speed back was available, so we evaluated him and talked to him. He happened to be from the Virginia Beach area, and he's a guy that can run. He played running back and a little bit of receiver. They were using him a little bit of both, and we're kind of using him as a running back. He may spread out and do a few things at a receiver perspective. So he's a guy we found, and we're glad we have him. And, again, he still has some things he needs to work on, so we're spot playing him. He doesn't know the whole offense yet and all those type of things of that nature, but he does have an attribute.
Buckshot, having him in fall camp, taking all the reps with the ones this time around, how much is that going to benefit him?
Well, I think it's going to benefit him. It's going to benefit our whole offense. So somebody that's been out there, been there, and is able to tell people what's going on. He kind of understands what we're trying to do. Again, the offensive line, our tight ends, our receivers, everybody demanding him to tell them what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. He may not be all in tune with the technique per se, but he definitely knows everybody's assignment, and so we want him to coach them up in that way. And they're going to listen to him. He's a guy that's been there and done that. He's still a young pup in himself. But we're very demanding on him to make sure that he can do all the things that he's capable of doing and making sure we can have the greatest success that we can.
DJ Stubbs, a guy you mentioned that did well in the scrimmage, is he a guy you could see breaking into the wide receiver group this year?
He'll have a chance. Again, first week. He definitely made an impression as far as his first week out here and done some good things. I think that probably obviously made some good catches and some things of that nature, but I think he's been able to keep up with a little bit of our offense. He's understanding a little bit of our offense, and so I think that's given him a little more opportunities to be more plays, and that's pleasing. But again, it's still early. We haven't made all those decisions yet, who's going to redshirt and who's not, and all those things, but he definitely put himself in a good position to be in, hopefully in the top 6 or 7 receivers.
Everyone else make it through the scrimmage unscathed?
Yeah, we didn't have anything major. We got one or two guys we just holding out, but again, we're kind of more precaution than anything. Nobody's going to miss here for the season or anything of that nature, so nothing major.
What are the next few things you want to implement on the defensive side? You said they were kind of, I guess, vanilla the other day.
Yeah, we just, I think, again, the first week, again, it's more of our design. When I say our design, myself and Coach Wimberly is really just wanting our guys to be able to play fast, be able to get lined up and do what they need to do. Again, offense may be able to do a few more things better, which that's kind of what happened. So there will be more schemes, things we put in from a defense perspective to help our guys on defense going against each other. So I'm not concerned about it. We just want to give some young guys an opportunity so we can see what they can do. Are they physical players? Are they not physical players? Because if you're not going to be able to get lined up and you can't be ready to go on the snap, then we're not giving them a fair evaluation from a defensive perspective. So we'll add some more things in here as far as this week for our defensive people and different schemes. We're trying to see if we can do that on the defensive side, whether it's the D-line, linebackers, or our secondary. And again, in the next 2 weeks, we'll kind of implement certain things and see if we want to implement it. And then maybe things we say, well, we're not going to do that this year, and so on and so forth.
Buckshot's obviously entrenched at number one quarterback. How are some of his backups looking? Cunningham, Urick.
If I had to go into it right now, ahead right now would be Mason Cunningham. He is will be a sophomore. He played his freshman year at the junior college, so he has a red shirt available. Again, we haven't made that decision right now. I would say we're leaning toward right now probably not red shirt and Mason, but we'll see how it goes. But he's now, I would say, ahead of those guys right now. Rudd's coming a little bit of an injury. So he's been a little bit step back, haven't had a whole lot of reps as we have been playing here now. The guys who's getting probably a little bit majority of the reps there is Landon Brown, a walk-on quarterback there, has done fairly well, understanding the offense, but he has a long way to go per se. David Jeremiah is our other quarterback that's taking some snaps and reps, and so right now I definitely would say Mason's the leading candidate. I'd probably say maybe after this week, if he's still going the way he's going, then we may have to make a decision at that time to say, we're not going to redshirt him or we are going to redshirt him. But right now I'm leaning toward not redshirting him.